cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life. But perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our king.
You're going to help me walk again?
You'll never walk again. But you will fly.
What does that mean? You will never walk again, but you will fly. I've seriously been waiting for an explanation since the season 4 finale. There's so many possibilities, but one thing's for sure. The Game of Thrones community is split on opinions. Today I'm going to cover the possibilities that will make Bran Stark fly. If you are not caught up with season 6, just know that there will be spoilers ahead. Bran Stark is the last remaining Greenseer, the new three-eyed raven, and maybe the most important character currently in the story. Okay, you can go ahead and argue that Jon, Tyrion, or Daenerys is more important, but you have to know that big things are coming for Bran. Bran met the three-eyed raven, or blood raven, or even Brynden Rivers, whichever you want to call him, in season 4. He told Bran walking was out of the equation, but flying, on the other hand, is destined in his future. I mean, the guy would know Bran's future. He was a Greenseer after all, plus he helped Bran see the past and glimpses of the future. So Bloodraven probably spoke truth when he said that. Let me just jump into the most popular idea. Bran will fly a dragon. Dragon riders are a real thing, and it isn't just something Dany started doing with Drogon in recent events. It's been a regular thing for Valyrians since way before the Doom. Game of Thrones has a strong central focus on dragons, maybe even more in the show than in the books. The second it was said that Bran will fly, millions of fans associated the young Stark with riding one of Dany's dragons. Bran could warg into a dragon and control its will, just like he could do with other animals, right? Well, possibly. I mean, it's definitely not out of the scope of reality. There could be the final war between the living and the dead, and things start to look bad for the living, and then Bran comes out of nowhere, controlling a dragon, tearing into the White Walkers. But you could argue that Bran may even be a dragon rider. You know how he rides on a horse, even with being paralyzed? It's because of a special seat that allows for him to ride, just like Tyrion. Now, if I dig too deep, we will strike the three heads of the dragon theory, which is a whole level above this topic, and probably the most prominent evidence to this theory doesn't even include Bran being one of the three heads. But enough about that. So overall, yes, Bran can potentially fly via dragon, either through warging or even physically if provided the right mechanism. The quote immediately screams dragon on the surface, but we know Game of Thrones to be more of a deep thinking series rather than serving the audience the straight facts right out of the gate. You will fly can mean something much less exciting than fire-breathing dragons. It could just be birds. Ravens, pigeons, other winged wildlife, it doesn't really matter. The quote remains the same. Bloodraven didn't tell Bran that he will breathe fire and destroy thousands of whites. That would be a much easier video to make if he did. While I doubt the creators would put in that line just to reference average birds, it is still a possibility. But what about if flying is a reference to Bran's Greenseer abilities? For example, Bran has already had his share with surfing through different timelines in the story so far, with him being bound to only continue this journey in the next seasons. Surfing through time could basically be flying through time. But one weird thing I cannot help but think is if that's the case, the first part of the quote is a little misleading, because Bran definitely walks when having his visions, and if the old three-eyed raven was completely right about Bran not walking, then his movement when traversing the past does not count as walking. So would it be considered flying if it's so-called drifting through time when having visions? I'll let you tell me your thoughts on that one. Actually, now that I think about it, if Bran was to fly by warging a bird or dragon, wouldn't he have already walked when he warged into Hodor or his direwolf? If one cannot be true, then the other can't either, right? This leads me to believe that flying is the metaphorical reference to Bran's journey of controlling his abilities. In my mind, it makes sense. Bran cannot fly by riding a dragon because the three-eyed raven told him he will never walk again, yet Hodor carried him everywhere when walking, which would be physically no different than strapping a saddle on a dragon and flying it around. The same thing goes for warging a dragon or even a bird. Bran wargs into land animals including his direwolf and also Hodor. The warged creatures definitely walk, but remember that Bran will never walk again. Obviously this can be interpreted differently, and my opinion may be more restrictive on the exact verbiage used from Bloodraven than what the story ends up going with. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for all the support lately, everyone. If you enjoyed any part of the video, please leave a like, it really helps the channel. Have a great day, take care, and I will see you tomorrow.